and welcome to a Homespun house. My name is Molly and thank you so much for joining me today as I talk about all of the things that I have been creating here in America, I can say now. For those of you who haven't caught up in a little while, our family has recently moved from Germany. We lived there for 10 years. The birds, they are trying to compete with me, but we've lived there for 10 years and now we have been in America for about a month and a half now. So it's been really great. We came at a perfect time. It's summer and we've been spending recent time going kayaking, boating, visiting with my Grandma Sue and her husband, my Grandpa Bakken. We feel like we're pretty much on holiday. It definitely has not set in that we've moved to America yet. I think just because the girls haven't started school yet. We haven't moved into our home yet. We'll be closing near the end of this month. So we are so excited for that. Cannot wait to move into our new home and just start decorating and creating cozy spaces for us and all of our guests while we're there. Before I talk about my knitting, I wanted to mention one thing, and this is probably the biggest question that I am asked all the time on Instagram. You can follow me over on Instagram at _homespun_house on Instagram, like I said. Where are Soren Lorentzen and Mitzi Meets, our two sweet 50-50 Persian Siamese kitty cats that we adopted, and they completely stole our hearts, our children's hearts. And we bought them in Germany before we planned on moving to America. They're not here with us. It really felt like it wasn't a safe thing to travel with them here. And as much as we desperately cared about them and wanted them to come and stay with us and live with us, it really was in the best interest of them not to take them with. And the reason for that is because when you bring animals, and especially very small animals, on an airplane, as long of a flight as we were on, you have to give the animals medication to be able to travel on the airplane, and it really slows down their heart. So some animals have really great success stories for this, but there is still a big enough chance that we did not want to chance arriving in America and having Soren and Mitzi's hearts have stopped. For us, we just could not imagine risking that. The people who have our cats are an amazing, wonderful family. So while we miss them and while we wish that they were still with us and around us, we know that they are in a good place, in a happy place. I think it's really the best thing that we could have done for them. Last time we spoke, I was working on a Waldorf doll. I have not worked on that since. I do need to work on it because I will need to give that to my oldest daughter for her party of entering school. However, the socks that I was knitting on out of Soft Sock, a Homespun House yarn, this is Electric Feel, the colorway, I have finished them. So I am very happy with the way that they turned out. I love the Electric Feel color. This is definitely, I have some left. I have quite a bit left. I could knit another pair probably of shorty socks, or I could knit my youngest daughter a pair of socks out of this. So I have not decided what these are going to be for. It's very possible that I will just save and set these aside for my oldest daughter when they fit. She loves them. She thinks they're pretty cool. And I think that they're going to be a really great sock transitioning into spring just because it's fun, bright color. So it's just a simple stockinette, heel flap, and gusset. For the heel flap, I use half of the stitches and I knit across, and then I slip one, purl one, slip one, purl one, all the way across, and then knit across, and just do normal gusset, I guess. I knit these a lot shorter than normal just because I thought that would be something fun to try. So this is not my foot size. It is a bit smaller. I wear an 8.5, and I'm guessing this is probably a size 5 or 6. I gifted a pair of socks. 'Twas the night before Christmas socks. I knit those out of a Homespun House yarn again in the Juniper colorway for my grandma for her birthday. And they fit her really well. I knitted on a DK weight yarn, size 3mm needle, and I used 48 stitch count. I think that's probably a pretty good stitch count for, most legs. I probably would use a size 44 stitch count for myself, but the 48 fit perfect for my grandma. She's since tried them on, and she had a skein of a Homespun House tweed yarn that I gifted to her quite some time ago, and it hadn't been much use. She had cast on a mitten and she had knit a cuff, but she wasn't any further with it, and so we decided it would be really great for me to be able to cast on a pair of socks to knit her. So she'll have another pair, her second pair of DK weight house socks and maybe boot socks in the winter. She imagines that she'll wear these with her Birkenstocks in the winter. I've already knit the leg. I did a knit one, purl one cuff, and just standard stockinette. Again, I'm getting back to the nighttime knitting when I bring the girls to bed. Having something where I can just knit around and around works so great for me. I can't see anything, but I still am able to get some knitting time in. Even though Homespun House isn't open and I'm not working, we are pretty constantly busy, so my knitting time is very seldom, and I am happy now to have a pair of socks to get in with nighttime knitting. I finished these ones quite shortly after the last podcast, and that was 3 weeks ago. So I think I just picked these up maybe 2 days ago. Yep, it was Wednesday. Today's Friday. I picked those up on Wednesday at my grandma's house. This is what I've done with that. So now I'm about to turn the heel, pick up the gusset stitches, decrease, and then start knitting in the round again. Hopefully I can get to that before we get to some nighttime knitting tonight, because it is getting close to that time. So I'm enjoying knitting these. I'm using Haya sharps. They are my absolute favorite for everything. And this is the ball wound by my grandma. And this was just a custom colorway for her. She told me that she wanted some goldens, reds, and pretty evergreen shades. So I added a variation of all of that. And this is on tweed. So I've been seeing a lot of really beautiful tweed yarns knit up on Instagram. And with fall time coming around, I am pretty excited and have quite a lot of fun ideas for tweed yarns. I generally do a lot of tweed yarns up on tonals, which there definitely will be, but I have some really other fun speckled ideas, which I do too, but I have some new ideas for speckled tweed yarn, so that will be fun. So I have my Maker's Haven project bag. I've had this for a long time. This is when she had Simple Love, and then I have my fun progress keeper on here. I love to hang those on my bags for any time that I need a progress keeper, and I very, very often end up using them. So the next thing that I have made some progress on is my Pluma T shawl by Melody Hoffman of Bee Mandarins. And my knitting bags always have fun little surprises in them, and this one, I just saw this. My grandma must have given this to me 3 weeks ago maybe, and I haven't taken it out of my bag. I must have brought this over to her house to work on, and she gifted me this little dish for putting, I don't know, rings, bracelets, I guess whatever I want. So this was in there, so that's kind of funny. And I've done a little work on my Pluma T shawl. This is a Homespun House yarn. I'm knitting it out of 2 different bases. I am using Gold Stellina, and I am using our mohair silk, and it's a kid mohair silk. This is the Fresh Sheets colorway, and then this beautiful rose gold colorway is called Rose Gold. So I'm just doing the short row shaping right here, and this has just been on a break for quite some time. I think I knit on it all week for a while. There was one week that this was something that I worked on a lot, and then another project really caught me. I really fell in love with it. So there is a horsefly distracting me. These are Haya sharps, US 6, 4mm, and again, like I said, Haya sharps. So on this one, it is a progress keeper that I adore. It is a raspberry milkshake. or a raspberry frappuccino, your raspberry smoothie, strawberry smoothie with raspberry on top, your choice of drink. And then of course, because I just love Chelsea from Sucre Miniatures, who that charm is from, by the way, it's one of our monthly yarn and charm clubs that we do that is going up for sale today, and it's going to be September Yarn and Charm Club. There will be just a September Yarn Club if you're interested in just the yarn. Now there will be 3 different options. There will be September Yarn and Charm Club, September Yarn Club, and a September sock set with the charm or without the charm. So I guess that's 4 options. Just so your options are a lot more open for you based upon what you're looking for in a kit. So these ones are going to be special as always, but September is my birthday month, so I have a special charm for that month. This was the charm for my birthday last year. It is a cupcake, and the yarn that came with it was called It's My Party, and I'll cashmere if I want to. So that could be a theme with my birthday month each year. Take that for what you will. And then next to it, I just have a really sweet little one from my Harry Potter Yarn and Charm Club, and this is from a set that we did for Harry Potter Yarn and Charm Club based upon Professor Umbridge. So Harry Potter Yarn and Charm Clubs and monthly Yarn and Charm Clubs are up for sale now. The thing that really distracted me from knitting on my Pluma T shawl is a cardigan that, to be honest, took quite some time to become something. I have almost no yarn. I sold my entire stash before we moved to America, and I only took very, very few skeins of a homespun house with me. I took these 2. All of the other projects were already in the works, the Pluma T shawl and then the electric feel socks, and then the other yarn is from my grandma, like I showed you. But I took these along. This is Double Dare. These are all on merino cashmere nylon. And this is Weasley's Wizard Wheezes. I just loved these so much. I thought they paired so well together. And then I took 2 more skeins of a Laura Ingalls Wilder Club, and then I took some mini skeins that I sent along with the sock sets. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to knit a party on my needles out of it, just because that is my most worn shawl. But that's all of the yarn that I took with me from a homespun house. I do have some Maker's Haven and some nomadic yarn. This took a while for me to think about what I wanted to make with it. I didn't know if I wanted to make socks, individual ones, or a shawl. I really had no idea. So after looking and browsing forever, I came across a Ravelry pattern, and let's see if I can figure out what it's called. It's from Drops. Ooh, I don't think I can. And anyway, it doesn't really matter because I ended up not going along with the pattern at all. I needed to change it, and when I changed it, I knew that even with the changes that I made, I would have a lot of ends to weave in. That's a boat going by. I don't know if you can hear that. I knew I would have a lot of ends to weave in, so I still have a lot of ends to weave in. On both sides, for every 4 rows on each side, there are ends to weave in. But I'm still really happy with it. It's something that I toyed between whether I would just do stripes or whether I would do a special pattern like this. I just kind of came up with it as I went along, and I'm really happy with it. I love the way the colors play. I really love the pattern that I made with this. So I'm making up the pattern as I go. I'm kind of following the jacket pattern, but I definitely will have to change some things about it to make it fit. I initially cast this on with Ruby in mind, my youngest daughter, and it could still be for her, but I'm thinking it looks quite large. So it could be an oversized cardigan for her. It still needs the front panels, and then, I think I'm going to make it button, but maybe not. We'll see. It could be that it's a cardigan that I will give to my oldest daughter just because it's so big. I would really like for it to fit my youngest daughter simply because I'm making the Waldorf doll for Elodie, and the celebration is for both of them. Elodie is beginning school, but Ruby is also starting, her new kita, and it's a big transition for her. So we definitely want to celebrate both of them in the transition of moving to the kita. So I want to have something really special for Ruby. I have dreams of having 2 cardigans finished, but I know that's getting to the point of absurdity. Like I mentioned, I have Harry Potter Yarn and Charm and Harry Potter Yarn Clubs for sale right now. The Yarn and Charm is with Sucre Miniatures, and the things that we have planned, I know Chelsea said that these are the ones that she's the most excited about in all of the years that we've done Yarn and Charm Clubs together. So that's really exciting. That always feels really great to hear when you come up with ideas and then the maker who you're collaborating with is really excited about them, which she always is, but it's just nice to hear that she is the most excited about these ones. Because I usually feel like that about every round of clubs. But yeah, and then we have September birthday Yarn and Charm and all of those different sets that I talked with you guys about. So I hope that I see you guys sooner rather than later. Robert is my husband. He is currently out with the girls rollerblading and out on their scooters, and it's getting a little bit dark here. I'm sure you can see. The evening is winding down, and I'll be laying the girls down for bed soon, so I think I will probably not get to those gusset stitches. That's something that I'm very sure about. So there will be no nap time or nighttime knitting this evening, but that's okay. They lately have been closing their eyes when I haven't had some knitting to read, and I love Laura Ingalls Wilder books so much, from the Little House on the Prairie, Little House on the Big Woods. There's 8 in the main series, and I am currently on Little Town in the Prairie. I still have 2 left, and I've read them all when I was younger, loved them. It's very, very different to read those books as a parent. I feel like, goodness, you really feel what her parents must have gone through. So I'm really enjoying those. I brought the entire box set for my grandma to read. She was looking for something to read and she hadn't gotten into a good book lately, and I know she will love those. I did a Little House yarn club for By the Shores of Silver Lake. I did that, I can't remember, sometime early in the summer, and then I did a minis set. I would love to do some sort of Little House club again soon. I think I'll probably do one at Christmas time along with Christmas at Hogwarts. So I hope that all of you have had a really great summer so far. I hope you've been enjoying it. I will be putting a call out for people who want to do some sample knitting for me as soon as I open the shop sometime this September. Keep your ears out for that. See you guys soon. Bye.